This is an Avocado Media Network presentation.
The Art.Is.Tic. It's an honor to be here, my brother. Turn me up in the headphones a little bit. You know, there's an old saying. All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing. Well, we done doing nothing. May the light forever shine on everyone that glow before me. We used to be just dope, now it's whiskey soaked in glory.
Chapter 8. The Feature We Promised. I have always loved the dichotomy of life. The push and pull of existence is always a sweet subject for me to explore. See, this has pushed me to old-fashioned ideas like heroism and victory through merit, both things that are dying ideas in modern day. This delusion has led to many decisions that I would have been against at any other point. It is my delusion. Allow it. It is this decision, I believe, that creates the greatest artists in various disciplines. You have to be some kind of mentor to decide to be the king of pop or the best rapper in the world. This is my favorite kind of crazy. I like to call it the rebellious kind of crazy. There is something juvenile about it, and I identify with it in scary ways. And just like every juvenile child, I kept a healthy list of people I consider rivals. I am a highly competitive person, and I enjoy having something to compare myself with as I make it through life. Once upon a time, I was in competition with my teacher of English at the subject. I don't think he knew. They never knew. Tim didn't either. I first met Tim in 2008 in Chilenge. 2-1. This, of course, was before I joined. Had opened a studio in Chilenge Market, and we would record music for ourselves outside of working hours. During that time, I met Cactus Agony, the Hoster, the Street Bangers, 5-4, and a host of other rappers that Zambia considers elite. During those late night sessions, some of the best music in Zambia was being created. This was in the evening of the Mondo music wave, and the industry had just begun to open up. I remember the proud feeling of attending Cactus Agony's Bush Territory launch at Barclays Sports Complex, a place that doesn't exist now. It felt great because this was an event graced by an artist from our age group. We all looked at Cactus as an older brother because of how nice he had been to all of us, so we attended the show with the purest intent. We just wanted to see one of our own make it. During one of those late night recording sessions, I met Tim, then Young Thug. Because I was from the Copper Belt, my personality seemed more animated than usual. That was until I met Tim. As soon as he walked into the booth, I could tell we had a showboat on our hands. I had grown accustomed to being the best lyricist at his studio, so having him as competition was a thorn in my back. I hated sharing my spotlight. And to make matters worse, he was pretty good at rapping. The first time we clashed was during a cypher outside of Debonair's in either Woodlands or Kablonga. Those days we would all link up and just hang out as a bunch of rappers. There was no animosity to anyone. We all looked at each other as brothers because of the music we were chasing. We would freestyle until the sun came up sometimes. That period was also extra special because it was during that time that K-Star and I had the most freestyle battles. The group would hype us into attacking each other to sharpen our skills, and we would go at it like rabid dogs. Tim couldn't freestyle. Since I began battle rapping back in high school, I always analyzed my opponents thoroughly before engaging in battle. Because of my background in freestyling, I was able to use sharper punches that seemed more present than pre-written verses. I would always pick out something from the crowd that would make people realize that I was making up my lyrics on the spot. That was my weapon. When I saw Tim stumble through a freestyle, I smirked. We had gotten off on the right foot. All I had to do from time to time was bring in current events, and he would fall back into another tear. It was a long game. I would watch him strain to remember verses without repeating himself while I pulled lines from my surroundings. Score 1, critic. I am a very competitive person, and there is nothing you can tell me to convince me that it is a bad thing. I love to win. You love to watch people winning, and you love winners, so I am hard-pressed to find any reason for you to frown upon this particular trait of mine. My execution, admittedly, can be quite irritating sometimes, but so does everybody else's. My tally against Tim was out of respect for him. I had finally found a worthy opponent when we first crossed paths. For a while, I had felt like it was a waste of time rapping with my peers because I found their skill sets basic. There were a few rappers back in 2009 that were worth praising as legendary in Lusaka. When I arrived on the scene, it was easy to place myself in an early conversation about whether I was the best in the country. Before the country grabbed a hold of me, I had transcended and was now being mentioned next to Proverb and a host of other international artists. Our next confrontation did not go so well for him either. After So Good Entertainment and Zone Fam clashed, a song called Diamond Chainsaw was recorded. From a small spat on social media, it escalated to a shove from Young Verbal at arcades to an entire diss song featuring then Crisis, now known as Tsenga. The beauty of this diss song was in a well-orchestrated ploy to feature Tim, then Young Thugger, on a song attacking his own camp. We loved things like that. Score 2, critic. After the beef settled down, Zone Fam got a huge win when they released Chaka Zulu on it. The song shot to the top of the charts everywhere, and the video got international recognition. There was no avoiding it. Zone Fam had arrived, and they had been waiting for this moment for a while. Along with their success came a newfound rise for Tim. He was the sweetheart of the group. Before Dope G figured out how to make the ladies go crazy, Tim was wowing them with his wordplay. He was short and lethal, a very dangerous combination for a rapper. Think Cassidy, Royce, Wayne, Kendrick. Score 1, Tim. Zone Fam continued to grow exponentially. We had to do something. The crazy thing is that we had started the whole thing. K-Star had been the visionary that first rapped in vernacular to endear himself to the stubborn local populace. Overnight, Zone Fam pulled what seemed like one move and overtook us. So we went back to the drawing board. Vitumbua. We created a monster song by accident. I knew it was bound to happen, but I was still surprised at how well it worked. The light shone on us, and we jumped into the driver's seat. It was time to fight. Score 1, critic. Innocent Kalaluka organized a farce of an award show, and we were thrown into the cold again. Because of his terrible and somewhat non-existent knowledge of the growing Zambian entertainment industry, he nominated my camp for the wrong song and then logged that one as credited to another artist. It was a railroad. At the awards, because of his poor organizational skills, an electrical fault cut our performance off live on television, and we further dwindled into mediocrity. On that night, Zone Fam won a number of awards and we went home empty-handed. We couldn't speak to each other for a while. Super wouldn't leave his room. I returned to Ndola. Score 2, Tim. When I returned to Lusaka, I had no steam to pursue music anymore. I decided to try other avenues. I went into the creative sector, television and content to be particular. I got a job at Ground Zero Pictures as a copywriter, and I put on a formal shirt. The final nail in my coffin was the Channel O Awards. I gave up the race mentally when I watched them give their acceptance speeches. I had wanted to be that guy. It was time to move on. The race, however, does not go to the swift. I am quite a resilient individual, and I believe in never staying down when you are beaten. Much like my father, I refuse to accept my surroundings as a hurdle on the road to success. When I announced I was returning to rap, I had one name on my list. That's right, I love this rap thing.
The Art.Is.Tic. It's an honor to be here, my brother. Turn me up in the headphones a little bit. You know, there's an old saying: all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing. Well, we done doing nothing.
Made a light forever shine on everyone that glowed before me. We used to be just dope, now this whiskey soaked in glory. They made us Harley Quinns, we opened up for jokers. Stole this league from the shadows, now they kneel when they approach us. Even before you sit, these suckers who dethrone you, son.
Are you a fan of classic African music? Well, we have just the thing for you. Coming soon to the Avocado Media Network is the Pan-African Party. The Pan-African Party is a weekly celebration of African music hosted by yours truly, Critic. Keep an eye on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more news soon. The Pan-African Party, celebrating African excellence.